Hi, for this video, I'm not going to do a lot of talking at all. I'm going to show you the question by highlighting it like I have on the screen now. You need to pause so you can read the question. Then you press play again, and I'm going to highlight the answer the answer in the passage to that question. You need to pause and read the answer. Then I'm going to click back to the question and highlight the answer, and you need to pause and make sure you know the correct answer. Read it, make sure you have it written down if you need to go back and do this assignment again, okay? So we just did number one. Again, highlight. I'm highlighting the question. You're going to pause the video, read it. Then I'm going to highlight the answer in the passage. You're going to pause the video, read it. Then I'm going to go back to the question and highlight the answer. You're going to pause it, read it, make sure you know it. And if you have to redo this assignment, you're going to make sure you have the right answers, okay? Here's number two, and I'm done talking. For this one, you had to remember from the passage, potable means drinkable. For this one, once you find the part in the passage about poor countries, you read each choice and you see that nothing was in a paragraph except for letter choice D. All of the other choices were not in that paragraph. For this one, you don't need to go back to the passage. It says, when biodiversity of a region declines, many of the organisms critical to this filtering process can disappear. Therefore, pressure on the freshwater supply can cause biodiversity to decrease, which can cut the drinkable water supply even further. So this is all about how decrease in biodiversity messes with our drinking water. So that's a connection between the biodiversity and the water supply. Therefore, the answer is C. For number 5, I had actually wrote down each of the answer choices. I went back to the passage and I read each paragraph. If the paragraph was about that answer choice, I put a tally mark beside that paragraph. It ends up that B, C, and D only had one paragraph about them, while paragraph A had at least 6. Therefore, the answer is A, because that's what most of the passage was about. That's a good technique to remember. For number 6, you don't have to go back in the passage either because it gives you an excerpt from the passage to read and it wants to know what a word means. So let's read. Say a particular species of freshwater frog dies because its habitat has been depleted in a drought. So the frog is dead because it has nowhere to live. This means the population of the birds that feeds on this frog may decline as well as it lacks sufficient food. So the birds that eat the frog are also going to decline because they don't have the frogs to eat. Conversely, the insects that the frogs fed on may increase in number as the frogs are no longer around to keep their population in check. So the frogs died, the birds died, but the insects that the frogs died increase. So that means the opposite happens to the insects than what happens to the birds and the frogs. Therefore, the answer is going to be on the other hand because it's giving you an opposite. For number 7, I actually found the passage, and in the passage, it uses it for example, and the only thing that goes for example